Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Tanner151 and this is my Gears of War Judgment review. Now, I did get the game at the midnight premiere, and I have been for many months looking forward to this game and very skeptical of this game at the same time. It's made by two companies, Epic Games, which has made Gears 1 through 3, and People Can Fly, who has helped them make the previous Gear games with like DLC or porting Gears 1 to the PC. So they have experience with the engine and with the genre in general. Now the game is set 1 month after E-Day, Emergence Day, where the locusts came from the ground and killed billions on the first day. And then humanity has been losing the war slowly. Not slowly, it's been losing very quickly actually. Militaries are being destroyed, armies lost, cities conquered. It's not looking good. And in the city of Halvo Bay, Baird, who is a lieutenant in this, he's been a lieutenant for a week, and his squad are trying to save the city, and they disobey orders to do that. So they are on trial by this by-the-book military colonel, Colonel Loomis, the guy right there. He judges them in a trial, a military tribunal, and the game goes through flashbacks. Now, you play through the eyes of all the characters, Baird, Cole, Hendrick, Paddock. You play through all of their eyes, except if you play co-op. If you play co-op, you play as Baird and Cole the entire time, if there's only two people co-op. Now, the campaign has a very good art style, I will say that. It looks very similar to Gears 3, but it does have its own art. It seems darker, and the environments are beautiful. Like, look at that. There is much more going on in the background in this game. It's very pretty. I did like that. There are bodies on the ground, dead bodies on the ground all the time. There's this new thing called Declassified Missions where it changes the dialogue and the combat of a mission, makes it harder and actually more enjoyable in the long run. And I did like this. It was a good idea. Now, you'll be doing various different things like fighting in poison gas or using only locust weapons. Now, there is this new thing in the campaign where it's pretty much horde mode in the campaign. It's called defense scenarios. And if there is one huge flaw for this campaign, it's the story. The gameplay is flawless, but the story is not that good because they didn't put time into like the background, the storytelling, because almost all the cutscenes are what you're seeing right now, going through doors. That is literally almost all the cutscenes. There's only about 4 or 5 cutscenes where you're not doing that, and they're very rare and far in between. So it got annoying to see the same thing over and over again, which really set the campaign back. Now, the main enemy of this game is a General Karn who came before Rom. And you're thinking, oh, he's going to be intimidating. Well, no, you see him like twice, and you only fight him once. He's not intimidating. You don't feel threatened by him. He just doesn't seem like, oh my god, we have to stop him. He's not threatening like Rom or Scourge or even the Queen. It's a lame boss battle, and this boss battle was lame. He was too easy, even with the declassified mission on. Now, there is another campaign part at the end when you unlock enough stars due to playing the declassified missions. It's called Aftermath, and I'm just going to say that this was a Gears of War 3 DLC that was not being able to sell the full game, so they put it in Gears of War Judgment because it looks and plays just like Gears 3. Now look at this. This is an epic moment in this DLC. This is like, whoa man, this is awesome. This is epic. This is Gears of War 3 right here. This did not feel like the Judgment campaign. It felt like Gears 3. That's why I think it was a DLC that they just brought over. But why can't the Judgment be more like this? Judgment's campaign lacked character development, fun, entertainment, but the Aftermath had it. Now, there is a very good multiplayer which did a lot of things right, I think. They balanced out weapons where you can only have a rifle or a shotgun. Now, at first I was really hesitant about that, but it actually balances it out more. Instead of someone camping from far back with a Lancer, then you run up right up to them and then they pull out a shotgun and kill you. That doesn't really happen as much because you have to use either a Lancer or a rifle or a shotgun. It's a really good way how they balanced it. Now, there is a problem called a two-piece, which is noticeable from Gears 1. You shoot a guy once, or in melee him or you melee him shoot him, that is a very obvious flaw that does need to be fixed. Now there's a new game mode called Overon, which is pretty good. It's not terrible, but it's just not that great. I don't see people playing this in any serious fashion other than getting achievements and medals within 2 months. I just don't see it. I mean, it's fun, but if you don't have a full team, it won't be fun. That's all I'm saying, and it would need a little more improvement. Gears of War Judgment has a very extensive uh, weapon skins that are actually really cool. They have a new prize box system, which is pretty much challenges, and I actually really like that. I thought it was really good. But the depth that the multiplayer had, while it is more in terms of weapon skins and character skins, the actual character amount is only 13. When I ordered from GameStop and got Young Marcus for free, so there would have been 12. That's not a lot. What did Gears of War 3 have? Over 20? And then the medals in this game, you unlock for doing certain things, like getting a lot of kills with this or that. There are less than there were in Gears 3. Now, I will say they did add more ribbons. I will say that. And the ribbons are throughout all the game modes, and they help you rank up a lot quicker. All the challenges are intertwined between all the game modes, campaign, multiplayer, all that. That's really cool. But there are just some issues that this game did not feel complete. Like the multiplayer, for example. There are 4 maps for free-for-all, domination, team deathmatch. 4 maps. That is terrible. I do not like that. There needs to be more. There are 4 more maps for overworld and survival, but I don't really care about those game modes. And survival has replaced horde mode, essentially, where it is overrun, but you play against bots. And the human players only play as the cog. That's an okay game mode, but why did that replace horde? Why couldn't horde be in there just for people who want to play it? They took some steps backwards in this game, and that's a shame because this game had potential. I will say I do have more fun playing this multiplayer than any other Gears, but the campaign suffered tremendously, and that's a shame because I really do enjoy the Gears of War franchise. Was this prequel needed? Did it need to be told? No. Gears 1 through 3, I never hear them mention Halvo Bay. At least in Halo, they mentioned Reach in like Halo 1. So you kind of like developed in your back of your mind, like, okay, there's going to be a battle there. And I realize in the comics I explained this, but as a gamer, they didn't explain it in Gears 1 through 3, so it was like, it felt unnecessary. Does that make sense? Now I'm going to go through a few of the things that I think were major things in the game, good and bad. The rest will be in the description, the full list as I can remember it. Let's start at the top. Versus is fun, and the weapons are pretty decently balanced due to the rifle or the shotgun. That actually balances it out pretty well. The sawed-off is not this huge problem like it was at the beginning of Gears 3. Yes, it has 2 shots, but it's not like amazing power god weapon. It's very powerful at close range, but anything past spitting distance is just not, it doesn't do anything. The map design for the multiplayer maps, the versus maps for free for all, domination, and team deathmatch, they're very good. My least favorite is Rig, but there's not really a reason why it's my least favorite. I think it's because there's just a keen raven flying around the map shooting at me. That's probably the worst thing. Overall, though, it's actually a really good map design. They're very solid. I like how they did it. They did a good job, even though it's only 4 maps, and I am not happy with that. The graphics have been improved from Gears 3, except for the lip sync. The lip sync seemed as off as ever. At some points it looked okay, at some points it just looked pretty bad. Especially in the age of lip syncing where it's like amazing, like Battlefield, Halo, even Call of Duty is doing decent now, and Assassin's Creed's getting there. But Gears of War is just really bad at the lip sync. I don't know what it is. And the character models, they're not really bad, but the facial models for Cole, it was pretty bad for Cole, and for Paddock, it wasn't that good either. And what's wrong with their hair? Their hair looks so fake. Looks like they're wearing wigs that are frozen in place. It's not good at all. They should have spent more time on how the characters looked and make them look more real. That was an issue that my friend pointed out, and it was like, whoa, that's really obvious. Now the smart spawn system, or S3, is that if I played level 1 and faced 10 Therons, the second time I played level 1, I'll face 3 boomers. So it changes how the enemies spawn based on how you're playing and how well you're playing. That is a great idea. That is awesome. Sometimes where it was really hard for me to get through an area or I couldn't get the 3 stars to max out, I would die or purposely fail, restart it, and I'll be against weaker enemies but more of them so I can get my points more. So I can rank up to the 3 stars. Really cool how they did that. That was really good. Going into cover, in multiplayer at least, is quicker and wall bouncing feels smoother. It's all much smoother, all of it. The roadie run, even though it shakes a little when you run, it seems more shaky than Gears of War 3, but going into cover and coming out of cover, much faster, and it's good how they did it. It looks, you're going fast, and that's the kind of how they set up the multiplayer, was to be very fast paced. Now in campaign it didn't seem to go in as fast, it seemed a little slower. I don't know why it's different, but it does seem noticeably slower than the multiplayer. Going into cover, coming out of cover, all that stuff. At least to me. The declassified missions were a pretty good idea, but it did get annoying later on to keep doing the same thing. And some of them even repeated where it just in dust all over the screen. Like the dust ones were really annoying. Especially later on in the campaign when you're fighting harder enemies. One time on a roof when dust came out, or ash, it was ash. Man, couldn't see anything. There was a lot of bad guys. Had to start that over like twice. That was annoying. But the idea behind them is good. I did like that. Aftermath, the campaign after the main campaign, it's only about an hour or so. It felt like classic Gears, like classic Gears of War trilogy, and it was refreshing. The story was better, the writing was better. It ended kind of but it leads up to Gears 3. So if you've played Gears 3, it made sense. It was much better story-wise and writing-wise, and how the characters interacted between each other than all of Judgment, which is weird. Like a 1 hour campaign had better character story interaction than an 8 hour campaign. It was weird. I found it strange. Down but not out, not being in some of the game modes. At first I was like, oh, that's gonna suck. That's gonna ruin Gears of War. Actually, it made it better. I liked it. I really liked going around and domination and team deathmatch, not having to worry that if I go down, I might have to crawl for 10 seconds waiting for someone to pick me up. That's not there anymore, and I'm glad actually. Now they are bringing back execution, which is good. They do need to have some game modes with it in for those people that do love that do love that teamwork that revolves around it. That's good. But I do like how they don't have it in everything. It leaves more options open, at least for me. Stopping power and damage boost are gone. Awesome idea. At first I was kind of about the damage boost, but now that I'm playing the games, like, whoa, this is awesome. However, that does result in more sponging. If I have a Nasher and there's no perfect active reload for the damage boost, so instead of it taking 1, maybe 2 shots to kill someone, it might take 2 or 3 or even 4. That's happened. That's where the 2-piece comes in, where you melee someone and when they're disorientated, just shoot them once, they're dead. Or shoot them once, hurt them really bad, they melee them, dead. 2-piece works really well, especially in free-for-all where it's hectic. The story was weak. I had to say it. The story line, like the actual story and how it flowed and how it made sense, was very weak. Especially with the cutscenes, only like 4 or 5 are real cutscenes I consider. The rest were just opening from one door to the next door. That's not really a cutscene. That's just BS that they put in the game. I got really tired of seeing that dozens of times. I think only 2 times it was different, 2 or 3 times, and that was going over a wall. That was it. That's not good. They need to put more effort into that. That's not right. They shouldn't cheat the gamer for their laziness or short time to make a game. The campaign went from feeling like an actual campaign to an arcade shoot 'em up and get high score game. Due to the weak story and with the stars and then focusing heavily on get 3 stars, advance to the next area, it allows for much more playability. Don't get me wrong. I will probably play this campaign multiple times. but I won't be attached to it like I was in the previous Gears games. It's like, oh, yay, high score. Getting challenges for my Lancer and Nasher. Yay. As I mentioned a minute ago, the two-piece needs to be either fixed or slightly nerfed, depends on how they do it. It does need to be changed a little bit though. And the character development interaction between Kilo Squad was boring. It was not good at all. But in Aftermath, it felt right and solid. They did it pretty good in that. Felt like Gears 3. Now, my final score for this game is sadly going to be a little lower than I wanted to give the game. The game has good things in it. It just felt rushed. A year and a half development, that is not a long time, especially for two separate companies living in opposite parts of the world. That's not good. It needs to be one company centered in one location, spending at least 2 years on it. That is my personal opinion. 3 years is the best. But they did make about a 6.5 to 7.5 hour campaign plus Aftermath, which is about another hour. So say about 8.5 to 9 hour campaign, which is not bad. I mean, that's pretty good. And the multiplayer is fun. It just seems a little dry. 4 game modes: Overrun, Team Deathmatch, Free For All, and Domination. And then the 4 maps for Free For All, Team Deathmatch, and Domination, and the 4 for Overrun/Survival. It seems a little bare bones, but they are adding execution and 2 new maps in 2 weeks, so that's good. So my final score for this game is sadly a 6.4. I can't give it any more than that. I don't feel like it deserves it. I feel not cheated. I just feel like I wasn't given as much as I wanted, and that's disappointing. So as I said, I give the game a 6.4. I can only suggest this game to people who are hardcore Gears of War fans who will look past its flaws and accept it for what it is, which is a rushed game. It was pretty much a cash-in. And also, speaking of cash-in, most of the weapon skins and character skins that are in the game are locked because you have to buy them with Microsoft points. They already have microtransactions already. On day one, they had DLC microtransactions. That's stupid. If you like this video, please like it, comment, and subscribe if you want to watch for more. As always, thank you for watching my videos, and have a nice day.